Good afternoon. We're starting the session of the Government Commission. We're conducting the session of the Government Commission on the readiness and the approval of the prime and backup crew and the launch of MS-02 transportation vehicle at the Government Commission, taking into account all the reports on the technical status and the readiness of all the ground support services. Made the decision on launching on October 19th, 2016 of the Soyuz vehicle with the 50 increment crew members on board. Yesterday, the integrated testing of the Soyuz vehicle was conducted at the launch pad. Everything was performed with the required quality and reliability. The report of the Gagarin Cosmonaut Training Center, Yuri Ryzhikov, on the recommendations on the crew members for 4950 crew, difference the members of the Government Commission. We were training the following crew members for the launch to the ISS. Ryzhikov Sergey Nikolaevich, commander of the Soyuz vehicle and flight engineer 49, Expedition 49. Borisenko, Kimbrough Shane Robert, flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS. Backup crew, Misurkin Alexei, flight engineer of the ISS. Tikhonov Nikolai, flight engineer of the ISS. And Kimbrough, the training has been conducted in full. All the integrated training has been completed. All the crew members are considered ready, and Medical Commission has provided the conclusion they're fit to fly. We have reviewed the results of the crew member training and have provided the following recommendation. Recommend the prime crew members as trained. Completed pre-flight training. The recommendation for the Government Commission is to approve prime crew to launch on Soyuz MS. Commander Ryzhikov Sergey, Andrey Ivanovich Borisenko, flight engineer, and Kimbrough Shane, flight engineer. Backup crew, Tikhonov Nikolai, and flight engineer Vande. Report of the technical director on the testing of the flight complex on the readiness for launch, Sergey Romanov. Yesterday, we have completed the pre-flight training and testing. Soyuz FG launch facility with the Soyuz vehicle integrated for launch is ready. Thank you. Any other recommendations? Oleg Petrovich, please announce the draft decision. The decision of the Government Commission, having listened to the reports on the readiness of the crew members, and the recommendations on the prime and backup crew members and reports on the readiness of the facilities, approve the prime crew. Commander Sergey Nikolaevich Ryzhikov, flight engineer Borisenko Andrey Ivanovich, and flight engineer 2 Kimbrough Robert Shane. Backup crew. Commander Alexander Alexandrovich Misurkin, Tikhonovich Nikolai Vladimirovich, flight engineer 2, Vande Mark, NASA. Also, recommendation to start fueling operations and prep for launch at the designated time. Would like to ask the manned flight program of NASA to speak at this time.
Andrey, Sergey, and Shane, congratulations on completing your training. I know you've been working hard to complete all that training and certainly through this time period staying proficient. And Nikolai, Alexander, and Mark, congratulations to you as well in completing your training. Your time to go into space will come very shortly. So Andrey, Sergey, and Shane, you have a very busy flight program. A Cygnus vehicle was launched today and will be arriving shortly after your arrival on board space station. You'll have a Soyuz departure in 9 days, a Soyuz arrival in 26 days, a HTV, and all of that is in the first 2 months of your stay on board ISS. Andrey. You'll participate in 304 different investigations. 89 of them are new, have never been conducted on board ISS. So you have lots of work. We wish you a great time on board ISS, a productive time. Hopefully you'll have some time to enjoy the most beautiful view that any humans have ever seen. So we wish you all the best and Godspeed.
Слово для выступления предоставляется заместителю руководителя Федерального медико-биологического агентства.
We're going to ask the deputy head of the IBMP to speak at this time. Alexander Nikolaevich, dear crew members, on behalf of the main medical commission, to congratulate you on the completion of your training. I'd like to assure you that your health will enable you to complete each and every task. Sergey, it has been 10 years since your selection. You were serving in a very distant military regiment. It was 49 degrees below centigrade. You're psychologically very stable and reliable. You have experience working as a backup, and now you're going to be a prime crew member.
У русских есть такое выражение ваше, что ли, мы говорим мачо.
You see, you flew, and dear Mr. Kimbrough, you flew Apache vehicles, and you're from Texas. We call those people machos. So, Andrey, you know, we all know what you can do, what you can accomplish. Thank you. And to the backup crew, you know, your prime mission for today is to provide psychological support to the prime crew. We're wishing you all the very best. And to the prime crew, we're looking forward to seeing you back on the ground. Commander of the prime crew of the Soyuz vehicle is going to speak at this time. Dear Government Commission and everyone present today, I would like to express our appreciation for the trust you have placed in us. We have completed our training in full. Thank you very much for being confident in our psychological stability and reliability.
Слово предоставляется бортинженеру Борисенко Андрею.
Borisenko Andrey Ivanovich, you're next. Dear Government Commission members, everyone present today, we wanted to assure you are ready for flight. We're going to complete all the tasks that you have entrusted us with. Thank you. Flight Engineer 2, Kimbrough Robert Shane, please speak. Our crew members are ready. Thank you. Backup crew member, commander of the Soyuz vehicle, please speak. Dear Government Commission members, the crew members have completed all components of our training, and we're ready to accomplish our tasks at the final stages of preparation. Tikhonov Nikolai Vladimirovich, flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle. Dear Government Commission, dear representatives present in the room, we have completed our training in full, and thank you for your trust in us. Flight engineer to the Soyuz vehicle, Vande. Thank you very much for the training. Thanks to you. I was told that I have to thank you very much for your support. I heard that it's very important for me to say this phrase correctly. Dear prime crew members, I would like to congratulate you wholeheartedly on your upcoming flight in the manned Soyuz vehicle to the International Space Station. We wish you successful flight and successful return to Earth. Thank you. That completes the session of the Government Commission. Good afternoon. Welcome to our press conference.
Dear colleagues, hello. Let's start our press conference.
Government Commission has just completed its meeting approving the prime and backup crew. Sergey Ryzhikov, commander of the Soyuz vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS. Andrey Borisenko, flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle and the ISS. Shane Kimbrough, flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle, and he will be commander of the ISS increment. Backup crew, Alexander Misurkin, commander of the Soyuz vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS. Tikhonov Nikolai, flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle, flight engineer of the ISS. Vande, and flight engineer of the Soyuz vehicle and flight engineer of the ISS. I have introduced the crew members. Please proceed with your questions, dear media.
I've introduced the crews, so please ask your questions.
Good afternoon. Congratulations on your successful completion of training and approval as part of the crew. I would like to start by asking how you became cosmonauts and questions about your education. How did your education help you? And how did your education lead you to this current flight? Thank you very much for your question. I am a rocket engineer, graduated from the Baltics Government Technical Academy. Professionally, I think it was easier for me to go through many stages and aspects of training because I understand why the vehicles fly and how it all functions, and a lot of other things are very easy. To continue, I wanted to mention that I visited this technical academy of NITP recently. I was taking a video of the course system. Wanted to ask you how do you participate in the operation of the system? Well, we're not going to make it into a technical lecture today. It's a press conference. But this is a technical system that allows the crew members to assess the distance to the station and send a control command to the vehicle. So our course system allows for what is normally an automatic docking. Crew members, however, are a backup control loop, and they can take over control in case they need to do so. Thank you very much. Our American partners, please ask your questions.
Thank you. Rob Navius, NASA TV. I have two questions for Shane Kimbrough. Shane, You and your crewmates were within days of launching last month when your Soyuz vehicle incurred a technical hiccup. From a psychological standpoint, how difficult was it to halt that final training, head home, reset, and return for the launch?
Thanks for the question, Rob. Like you mentioned, we were just getting ready to launch. We did have a technical delay. Kind of reminding me of shuttle days more than Soyuz days, so it wasn't too unfamiliar. So we've done this before with NASA, and for me, it gave me a chance to reset, go home for a few weeks, relax, see a lot of family members I normally wouldn't have seen. My crewmates here were right back in the simulator, working really hard, getting ready for the flight. So the technical delay didn't, I don't think, slow us down. It actually gave us a chance to recharge, get ready for this time around. And now, of course, we're ready to go.
And just days after you dock to the station, a flurry of activity begins with the arrival of the Cygnus cargo craft that launched earlier today. That'll kick off a fast and furious 4 months in orbit for you and your crewmates. And you'll have just a very short few days for handover before Kate Rubins and her crew come home on October 30th. How do you think you're going to manage that pace? And is there anything that you, as station commander for Expedition 50, when it begins, will have to keep a sharp eye on to maintain the proper level of efficiency on board the station?
First of all, I want to say congratulations to Orbital ATK on the successful launch they had earlier today. That has a lot of supplies for us, so we're all happy that it's going to show up here later this week. It is going to be busy, like you mentioned, and the short handover time we're going to have with the previous crew is unfortunate for us because we were really looking forward to spending almost 2 months with them as the original plan. But now it's just a week, and we're going to have a great week with them. We're going to learn as much as we can from them in that week, kind of soak up all the knowledge they can send our way so that we can be more efficient once they leave. Then we'll have a few weeks by ourselves, the three of us, to run the space station until the next crew arrives, and hopefully we'll have it all ready to go for the next crew and really get into a lot of the experiments that we've all been excited about doing once we get back to 6-person crew. And to finish up, Rob, we like busy, so busy is good. It is something we'll have to manage, though, and like you mentioned, being the commander, I'll keep an eye on everybody, making sure we're not working too hard and get breaks when we need to. So just to finish up your question.
Здравствуйте, Анна Самойленко, космический центр
Anna
телевизионный отдел.
Samoilenko,
У меня вопрос будет с небольшим предисловием.
television station covering space.
Эксплуатационный экипаж после
A
второй перемены
question.
корабля, оба экипажа
After the
основные
second fit check of the vehicle,
музей космодрома Байконур.
both prime and backup crew usually visit the Baikonur Museum. And the first project of the virtual museum is here on the memory stick. And the first copy we wanted to give to the crew members, if it's possible. And the question to the crew members, what is your impression of the museum? Did you like it? Thank you. Well, for some of us, it's not the first visit to the museum. I did like the museum, along with a lot of exhibits that cover different stages of space exploration. The museum shows how much work has been invested by the employees. So each trip to the museum, each visit to the museum, it's a holiday, it's a celebration of sorts.
Я хочу присоединиться к тому, что сказал Сергей, о том,
To add to what Sergey said, it is very interesting going to the museum. There are a lot of exhibits dedicated to space. So it's a shame, though, that only those people can visit the museum. Not everyone can visit the museum, but those
нет возможности просто человека, который интересуется космонавтикой.
So there's no opportunity for a person who is just a space fan, space exploration buff, to come and just go to the museum without flying to space. I hope there will be an opportunity for everyone to visit the museum soon.
Hey there, William Whiteman, RT. My question is for Shane Kimbrough. So you're going to be blasting off tomorrow into space, so inevitably you're going to be missing the US elections, which are due to be taking place next month. I was just wondering whether you had any kind of procedure in place that would enable you to vote while on board the ISS. And then another question, and be honest here, when you're due to return, it's either going to be Hillary Clinton or Donald Trump in the White House. Have you considered maybe just staying in space? I mean, at least for another 4 years? I had to ask, you know.
So we do have procedures in place. I will be voting from space. So that'll be an honor to do that and kind of exercise the right that we do have as Americans. So that's going to be a special thing for me to be able to always say that I voted from space. As for the candidates, we're pretty much apolitical. So I'm going to come home regardless of who's the president. And I'll be glad to welcome the new president, whoever that is.
Прошу вас, пожалуйста, следующий вопрос.
Please proceed with the next question. Alexander Padukhov, Channel 1. A question to Sergey Ryzhikov. Wanted to ask about the first flight. When you found out you are flying, what did you experience? And the question to the entire crew, what is your program like? What are you going to do on the ISS? Could you tell us what exactly you're going to do there?
Спасибо за вопрос.
Thank you for your question.
Не буду нов. На протяжении 10 лет подготовки
After 10 years of training,
отслеживали подготовку не только свою, разумеется, а всех наших товарищей, предыдущих, тех, кто готовился, кто летал.
all our colleagues, including those who have flown
Ничем новым я
previously,
вас не порадую, не удивлю. Те же самые впечатления, те же самые чувства.
they said
У меня встречный вопрос к
they experienced the same feelings,
поскольку на протяжении этих лет мы всегда смотрим,
the same impressions.
как задаются вопросы экипажам.
We were watching for several years how
Чувства.
questions are asked to the crew members about feelings.
Подобный вопрос представителям Центра подготовки космонавтов, инструкторам нашим, представителям
A good question would be to the
сотрудникам, которые готовят ракетно-космический комплекс.
people who prepare the
С ними пообщаясь,
rocket launch pad
больше получишь
to instructors who train us at GCDC.
бодрости, которые и тех новых впечатлений, о которых вы бы хотели услышать.
And some new impressions, then you'll get probably new impressions and feelings you wanted to hear about. I agree. I understand that you have been part of the Cosmonaut Corps for the past 10 years. It's a long term. I wanted to see what feelings you experienced when you were finally assigned to the crew. Well, I was happy.
На второй вопрос.
And what about the second question? About the work you're going to do on board.
В российскую программу
Russian
прикладных исследований
program of the
54 экспериментов.
science
Они рассредоточены.
science research includes multiple experiments.
Часть экспериментов будет продолжена, часть экспериментов предстоит выполнить впервые.
Some of the experiments are going to be repeat runs. Some are going to be performed for the first time on board. So we're going to be working on part of the program.
Не предел мечтаний, но это та планочка, до которой, конечно, хочется добраться и которую хочется взять в свои руки.
We wanted to get to that part of the
Вот Сергей совершенно правильно
work.
сказал, что
Sergey
экспериментов у нас очень много, а если взять общее
is
количество
correct,
экспериментов, которые будут
saying that we have quite a few of
космических станциях, еще больше.
experiments on board of the ISS.
Но очень многие эксперименты являются такими не зрелищными, а достаточно скучными с точки зрения непосвященных.
Some experiments might sound very boring to those who are not what I would call initiated into the intricacies of the investigation.
Первый эксперимент по выращиванию перцев в условиях невесомости.
Some of the experiments on growing plants in space.
Прошлой экспедиции.
It was very memorable for me, and I enjoyed it
с отработкой
immensely.
управления автоматических аппаратов на поверхности планет.
There's another experiment on the automated exploration vehicles on the surface of distant planets. That is an experiment we're conducting together with our European colleagues. It's going to lay a very good foundation for future space flights.
Международное агентство Казинформ,
International Information Agency, dear astronauts and cosmonauts, would like to wish you a successful flight and safe return to Earth. And I have a question.
В списке экспериментов есть очень интересный такой изучение влияния межнационального состава экипажа.
Among the experiments, there is an investigation on studying the impact of the international composition of the crew. How does the international crew affect the work and operations on board? Thank you very much for your question and good wishes. The international composition of the crew actually strengthens our understanding that Earth is our house, is our home, after you look at it from outer space. It's our home for all of us. So it does improve and strengthen the understanding that we are responsible for our planet.
It's a great example of how our countries and many countries work together to accomplish something that none of us could do alone. So this endeavor we're in now could only be done with multiple countries involved, and we're lucky to be, in my case, I'm flying with 2 Russians, and we're going to have a Japanese when we get there, and we're going to have a French astronaut in a few weeks, along with other Americans and Russians. So it's really going to be an international team. And of course, we are just a small part of the overall team, which is the thousands of people around the Earth that are supporting us with payloads and science and spacewalks and mission control teams. And we're very blessed to be just a small part of that team. So this mission is much bigger than any of us. It's much bigger than any of the astronauts or cosmonauts in our offices. It's about the team and what we can do to help people here on Earth. And that's what we're all about.
Здравствуйте, Максим Прихода, РЕН-ТВ новости.
Maxim Prihoda, REN TV news station. A question to Sergey Ryzhikov. You mentioned about things going on board.
Собственно говоря, стремление заниматься наукой, работа на МКС.
Wanted to ask how you, as a scientist, satisfy your need to perform research on board. And also a question to the entire crew about the gravity indicator. So the question is to the U.S. crew members. For example, Mr. Kimbrough, what do you think about the U.S. vehicle being the talisman? About the second part of the question. Shane just said that national borders do not matter in our upcoming work. That is just a large toy for adults. So if we were flying on Orion vehicle, we would have a US vehicle as a gravity indicator. So in this first part of the question, it's a personal matter to decide on your foundations. I do not feel the need to either conceal it or share it with anybody. So that's my choice, and crew supported our choice.
Я хотел бы буквально маленькую ремарку сделать.
I wanted to make a small comment that it's an indicator, a gravity indicator, not
Поэтому его
really
надо
a
рассматривать именно
talisman.
в качестве индикатора невесомости. Просто обычно
Usually,
члены экипажа берут в
crew
качестве
members
индикатора
take
невесомости детскую игрушку.
as a
такую
gravity
подвеску. Но
indicator. They
дело в
take
том,
a
что наши дети
stuffed
уже
toy.
давным-давно выросли, и они
But
играют
you
совсем
see,
другие
our
игрушки.
kids are grown,
Поэтому
so
мы
they don't
совместно
play
решили
with stuffed toys anymore.
к нашему полету приурочить и не первый, но нулевой испытательный полет перспективного космического
So
корабля.
I'm also going to bring, as far as personal preferences are concerned, a small dragon, because I was born in the year of a dragon. It has flown with me before.
Небольших вещей, которые я беру с собой. Во-первых, это маленький такой резиновый дракончик.
It's a rubber toy dragon that has flown with me.
Был в первый полет, и я думаю, что во втором полете
And I think it will feel quite well during the second flight on board.
беру с собой книжку,
I'm also
книжку,
going to take a book with me
дала толчок мне как космонавту
that
профессиональному.
actually gave me an inspiration to become a cosmonaut.
Эта книга прекрасна.
It is a book written by a great Soviet and Russian science fiction writer, Sergey Pavlov, called Lunar Raduga, Lunar
May I
Rainbow.
please ask Mr. Kimbrough, what does he take to the International Space Station?
I'm taking several things, pictures of my family and friends, and other items from my favorite sports teams and universities and other schools that I'm involved with. Thank you.
Сергей Петров и мои 40 коллег из Балтийского
Sergey Petrov and my 40 colleagues from the Russian Baltics Technical Institute from St. Petersburg, following the recommendation of Sergey Ryzhikov, I took my young colleagues and I have been going through on-the-job training at the Cosmodrome at the Baikonur launch facilities. I have enjoyed having this wonderful experience in rocket scientists. We're not going to torture the crew with any more questions. And I hope my colleagues are going to help me share a little bit of warm greetings. Andrey, Sergey, and Shane from our university, from all the graduates, professors, and students. They are sprouting wings, we can say. You can't imagine how happy they are to be in this room talking to you today from our northern capital of Russia. Would like to wish the crew all the best and knock on wood. Possibly some of the kids who are standing here in the room in about 10, 15, or maybe 20 years will be on this side of the glass window talking and answering questions. No more questions. Oh, there are questions. Dmitry Kodachenko, Russia 24. I understand there are a lot of questions coming from the media about your emotions. Several days immediately prior to launch, these days immediately prior to launch, what are you thinking about? Maybe you're immersed in your work. We know, for example, how they're preparing the rocket. It is covered extensively, but we don't know how the crew members are preparing. So a couple of words. The most recent days, 3-4 days immediately prior to launch, what are you doing? We have spent these past days in accordance with the planned schedule. First, the workload was being gradually lowered. We were preparing for the launch, for the flight. So what exactly do you do? Specifics. Well, we saw that you went to the museum. What else do you do? We're studying, continuing to study the manual control modes enhancing our skills communicating with the ground.
Особенности баллистической схемы сближения.
Then we're discussing the details of the ballistic approach maneuver, looking into the current technical status of the systems on board. Of course, physical exercises, a meeting with relatives, the most recent event, and also psychological support prior to the upcoming launch.
Ответ на первый вопрос не прозвучал еще.
There was no answer to the first question. Question, what are your thoughts most recent days immediately prior to launch? Nothing different.
Вы уже мыслями там.
So are your thoughts already there with you on board? Both there and here, you see, when we're on board, we're going to be thinking about things on the ground as well. What about the backup crew? Thank you very much for your persistence and for your patience. And all our thoughts, you know, our ground support team is very caring. They care about the prime and backup crew. They don't want to show their emotions. But they ask us, how are the prime crew guys doing? And I, as a member of the backup crew, I can assure you that we are enjoying being the backup crew members to our prime crew. They are very calm. They're a great team. They have excellent teamwork. They understand each other very well. I can't always guess what they think, but this is not what we're required to do. At present, our task is to support them, to give them a hug prior to launch. The main work, the main aspect for the crew member is to be in great professional shape throughout one's career. It is not an easy task to maintain professionalism all the time. We had performed training using manual modes and working with specialists. Also, we're helping them maintain their weight, because prior to launch, every extra gram counts.
Большим количеством знаний
and
и в какой-то степени с количеством желаний, когда у вас вкусный аппетит.
And also, it is very difficult to do because they feed us very well, a lot of delicious food here.
В этот предстартовый день и отвечать на ваши интересные
And also, another task we accomplish here is answering your interesting questions. Thank you very much.
Rob Navius, NASA TV for Shane. Virtually all of your time on orbit with your crewmates will be spent as the crew of Expedition 50. After 16 years of a permanent human occupancy aboard the station and 50 expeditions in, what is the most impressive aspect of the station that will mark its place in history?
Very good question, Rob, as usual. But it's a tough one to answer because there's so many incredible things coming out of the space station. Like you mentioned, just having people on board the space station or anywhere off the planet for 16 continuous years is amazing in itself. The research and science we're doing now is just phenomenal. But I think to answer your question, probably the greatest thing in my mind that's coming out of this is how our nations work together internationally with many different countries are coming to make this incredible laboratory in space actually happen. And I think we're going to need these partnerships as we head off into the future to do things like potentially Mars or asteroids or go back to the moon. So I think the partnership is the greatest thing we can pull out of this. We can learn from it. We don't do it always right, but we can certainly learn from what we're doing now and get better as we progress into the future.
Я решила все-таки задать еще один вам вопрос.
I decided to ask you another question.
Командировкой с каждым пилотируемым пуском на Байконур
With each trip, with each launch from Baikonur, more and more tourists come for a visit here. What do you think? How do you feel sharing all these secrets? It used to be a restricted access area, completely restricted. So what do you like? What do you not like? It's a question to all the crew members.
Если людям нравится, что запрещать, конечно, с удовольствием.
Of course, we enjoy having tourists here. You see, our US colleagues have such an expressions as a report to taxpayers. You see, the flight to space, our feelings, our experiences, emotions. We understand that unfortunately not everyone will be able to experience it. The government pays for us to fly to space, taxpayers. So we would like to share and explain why it is such a great thing. Thank you very much. So I would like to ask the prime crew to pose in front of the GCDC emblem.
Dr. David Newman, NASA's Deputy Administrator here in Baikonur for the launch of the Expedition 4950 crew. We're just weeks away from the 16th anniversary of a permanent human occupancy on the International Space Station. What does that say? What is the legacy of that in terms of the strength of the partnership and how that partnership provides a springboard for future exploration?
It's really amazing. International Space Station, 16 years. I like to say any 16-year-old or younger, their entire lifetime, we've had humanity living on International Space Station. The partnership couldn't be stronger with the 5 main partners, NASA, Russia, Japan, Canada, and the European Space Agency. All of us working, living 24/7 in space together. We think it's really a great model and a great stepping stone for the future of space exploration as well. We've just passed 95 different nations having contributed science experiments and technology demonstrations. So we really like to say the world is with us, living off the Earth for the Earth.
And the space station itself, with all of the hundreds of hours of research being conducted, how it's matured over the course of time. What does that mean in terms of future exploration, breaking out of low Earth orbit, and what lies ahead for exploration?
International Space Station really is phase 1 of our journey to Mars. So we are well on our ways, closer than humanity has ever been to sending humans to Mars. On International Space Station for 16 years, every mission is about 250 science experiments. We're really looking at the technology development, buying down those risks, and next, and in parallel, our Space Launch System will launch Exploration Mission 1 in 2018. So International Space Station, low Earth orbit, and then we push off into Earth-Moon orbit, test down those technologies, and for the 2020s, the shakedown cruises, and then by the 2030s, we will accomplish Mars orbit and getting boots on Mars. So it's really an amazing, really 3-part journey to Mars, and International Space Station in these past 16 years have really taught us everything we need to know to continue exploring and moving further out in the solar system.